The cost of sovereignty. If you've been like me, I tried to use those OpenClaw Hermes on those local AI systems. You've been struggling. Okay, so what is happening? The struggle is real, the fatigue is real because they somehow are alpha products. Okay, so unstable, they keep getting updates to stabilize and fix the problem, but nevertheless they keep breaking. So the more you use and the more you find the problems, which they are getting fixed slowly, but nevertheless, this friction of always working with a broken machine, it is creating some fatigues. Now, last Saturday, 2 days ago, I woke up, I sent a message to OpenClaw and it didn't reply. Then I said, okay, I got Hermes. Hermes is gonna check it out and get it fixed. So I sent a message to Hermes, it didn't reply. So both of them broke, which is overnight, okay? They were working the night before, they just didn't work. And probably it's something stupid, okay? Maybe it's the getaway not on, whatever, okay? But I decided, you know what, I'm gonna take a break. This weekend, I'm gonna relax and do something else. I'm gonna go to this digital sovereignty holiday. So what I've done, and just to make it clear, as today, they are still broken, okay? So I still need to fix. This is morning for me, so I just wake up Monday morning. And so it's they are not live yet. Today I'm gonna get fixed, but what I've done this weekend is something that I want to share with you because I realized a few things that are important. First of all, like and subscribe. Let's get these channels grow. So, what is going on? So, first of all, what I realized, okay, and it was already clear to me, but it's getting more and more clear that the most important things that we have, our asset in this insider AI, it's not even the system, the AI itself. It's our what I call living archive. Okay, a lot of people call it a second brain. Second brain sounds to me a little bit passive. Okay, it's the second brain that works for, that works for me. Instead, this living archive, I'm still in control. But nevertheless, that is the sort of our asset, the most important part. Okay, because that is come from us, directly from us. Then we can use whatever kind of AI to leverage on the asset. So it doesn't matter if it's OpenClaw or if it's whatever ChatGPT or it's Hermes or basically a local or corporate, open source or corporate AI. The thing here is our intelligence is inside the asset. So my OpenClaw will work differently from yours because of that. Okay, so the information are there and that part need to be preserved and well organized. So I've been working on this living archive in the last 9-10 months, okay? In the sense, before I was not aware that I needed, so I was a little bit working randomly. And then at one point I realized, okay, no, I need to organize this properly. Why was this? Because I started to save the work that I was doing with AI into memory logs. So if you've been using ChatGPT, for example, you know that the memory gets saved in the system inside. You don't even see it, okay? But AI start to know who you are. Basically, they are profiling you, and they start to know who you are. The idea for me was, okay, but I don't like it to have no control over the information. Okay, so I couldn't stop and somehow to get those AI profiling me, but I wanted to have a system that I could actually design, architect this memory. So I started creating memory logs. Okay, those memory logs are structured in a specific way. Okay, it's not just a summary of what we've been doing. It's also the why we've been doing it. Okay, and for example, the problem that we had, the solution that we implemented, and so on. So those memory logs have captured the knowledge in a specific way, the way that I think is important for my specific use case scenario. So I started collecting them, and I see after a while that AI could work with those knowledge and learn from the mistakes made, and therefore the architecture itself was improving. Now, the LLM cannot learn, okay, it's kind of static, but it can learn to use in the sense, if I give a protocol, then the AI can find this protocol and use it and apply. So through the collection of protocols, then I can guide the AI to work in a specific way. So all these information, so the memory, okay, the documentation of, for example, my business plan, my identity, I call it creative DNA, all those information can be saved there, but also the protocols. Okay, the protocols are what now at the moment they're called skills. Okay, those skills on how AI should work in a specific way. Skills is also something different if you want that skill to be applied to operate a software and so on. But in the protocol is, for example, just to make a simple example, when you need to write an email, I want to use this tone of voice, this kind of formatting, and so on. Okay, so I can give a specific protocol to AI. When we are analyzing, for example, a business plan, you need to use this other kind of protocol. Okay, do this kind of analysis, challenge this kind of point, see the weaknesses, and so on. Okay, so I created a specific protocol to analyze projects. So all those protocols then become my asset because those are mine. Okay, it's not something that every AI has it. So those elements are the things that divide my system from your system to another system. So we all have those. So taking care of that part is extremely important. Why I'm saying this thing? Because I've been taking care of this, but no, not well enough. In the sense, I started using, for example, Obsidian. Okay, so Obsidian is this open source software that organize and work with .md files. Okay, those .md files are the ones that are really compatible with AI, become a kind of a standard for the AI to use this kind of file format. So the two things go really well together. So you have this series of folder, and then you can go through this folder, organize, move files, everything, it's easy to operate. Now, I started using with Obsidian. I can open the terminal within Obsidian through a plugin and then have Hermes working as an archivist. Okay, is this AI that help me move files, fix files, add tags, for example, analyze, give me summaries, whatever it is. Okay, so I have this Hermes within this living archive with that specific job position. Now, that is already a lot, okay? Already a good way to organize things, but it takes time, of course, okay? Especially if you have a lot of data. So think about, I have those memory log for the last 9-10 months, and at least is one a day, maybe more. Then I have all my articles on my blog, 300 and plus articles. Then I moved to Substack, to which you should subscribe, and 114, 15, 16, I don't know, I can't remember, new articles. So that is already a lot of other data. Then I do my memory logs. Memory logs, I'm looking here because I use this one to record them. Some people, I'm sharing this because some people in past video ask me, how do you do it? So at the beginning, I used to record the audio file over my phone. Okay, you have whatever app you have, Android or iOS, you have an app that does transcription by itself. Okay, so you start recording and transcribe your recording to text, then you take this text and you can save it as a raw thinking. Or in my case, I use this a specific prompt to analyze those memory logs. So the transcription added to this prompt that analyze, and then I have a new document, which is the analysis of the memory log. So now what I'm doing here, instead of this is the journey to to sovereignty. Instead of using the phone, that my data goes to whatever Google or Apple, whatever system, I use a recorder. Okay, I like this one just because it has a clip and extremely light battery, like lasts for days. Record a really long message, amazing. Okay, quality is good. You can have it always with you, and it doesn't weigh anything. Okay, so what I do now, I got this one. I plug to my computer. The computer I'm building a software. I'm going to share when this software is done. But my system here is I connect to the computer, get the audio transcribed by my internal local AI, Whisper, and then get the protocol that turn the transcription into a memory log and then saved with a specific template in a specific folder within my Obsidian. So this it's been always at the moment it's been done by OpenClaw. Okay, but the frustration was okay. OpenClaw is unstable. Sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. Frustration. So now I'm building a specific software for it, so it doesn't rely on OpenClaw. It just rely on that software that does one single function. I plug this to the computer, and everything get done. Okay, done in the way that is organized. I'm gonna share this software with those templates. So like and subscribe and follow the newsletter because I'm gonna share it through the newsletter. Extremely valuable. Okay, I do this process at least twice a day, these memory logs. An hour, 2 hours, okay, in total in a day. So I got a lot of my thinking added to this system. And then this system allows me to go into my living archive, my second brain. So now think about this done week by week, month, years. So now you start to have your intelligence being, exported by your brain into a living archive, which is required time because we can't just do offload, okay? Like a plug a USB cable to our brain and just offload it. No, we need a system and we need to reason. We need to be able to do this process. So by doing this amazing building of this living archive. Now, what was the holiday that I took this weekend? I started experimenting with some IDE. Okay, so this IDE software run by AI that helps you write other software. The most used is like Windsurf, Codex, Cloud Code, Anti-Gravity. I'll try all of them. Then there's a few that are open source, which is the Visual Studio Code. And I found this one that I like that is called Z-E-D. Open source. Okay. What I like about this one, instead of Visual Studio, which I tried Visual Studio, to be honest, I was like, okay, this is pretty good. But then it's really complicated giving your local model to run or your specific subscription. For example, I use also Minimax Studio, Minimax M2.7. So adding those things, you need to use plugins. Those plugins are buggy, so the whole system became unstable and therefore was not good. Z instead, pretty good so far. But I use all those ones this weekend. Anti-gravity also I find it really good, and Cloud Code of course is good. We are all using it, and Codex, which is being improved, it's also good. Okay, so what is the thing here? So this for price, Codex from OpenAI is pretty good. Okay, $20 a month. You have a lot of tokens to use to write your code. It does everything. Okay, so really good. Cloud Code, it's expensive. You don't have much token, even when you pay a lot. There's not much token, and maybe the app is more mature. Some people really love how Opus is coding. In reality, we know that OpenClaw is being developed by Codex. Okay, so it's the thing here is, which I explained in the video, the difference between these models is really little. Okay, now it's marketing pushing, this is the most powerful, just because I have a 2% more than another, this is the most powerful thing, because on paper it is. Okay, so Opus 4.7 now is the most powerful one, but it's just a little bit, so little that you don't even realize. Okay, in reality, it's just a little bit. What you change is the behavior. Okay, sometimes you like one model more than another. Okay, most of the time is human insecurity that say, "I know I need to use the most powerful one." In reality, I use all of them, and the difference is the major difference is you. Okay, the major difference, the whole thing is you. It's not a model, it's you. Okay, so if you know, if you have a clear idea, if you have experience and so on, you can guide those AI to do the right job. Okay, if not, that is the biggest friction. It's not the model, it's you. Now, I also tried with local model. Okay, so really small model, 26 billion Gemma 4. You can do things. Okay, so you need to understand. Okay, this is require really a high thinking, high architecture. You need a frontier model. This, for example, sometimes I need just to organize folders, move things, write, extract from summaries, or extract, how do you call it, hashtags from a document. Okay, whatever it is, a small model can do it really, really well. Okay, fast, free, and so on. So I've been playing around with those systems, and the thing here is, it's true there is less friction in using those commercial corporate AI system. Less friction. So for the fatigue point of view of using OpenClaw that breaks every now and then, those apps never broke. Okay, I've been using in the last 2 days. Okay, I never had a problem. Codex, it just goes lock for a moment. I closed, restarted, and then was fine. Okay, it was just not updating the page. Again, for some reason, I was enjoying Visual Studio at the beginning, but then the friction of changing the model doesn't work. Anti-gravity also is really good. I mean, they're all good. They're all good. Now, OpenClaw has this co-worker, so they try to make it, to remove the friction of if you're not an engineer, you feel insecure using those software, so they created a co-worker. Basically, it's the same. Just a different kind of interface. But you need to remember this, okay? They remove friction, but also they capture your data. Okay? They work on your data. You lose the element of sovereignty. Again, it's up to us deciding what to do what. Okay, my suggestion is to use this mix approach. Work with everything you have, as now that we have a chance to use everything. Okay, we can see that the token cost is getting higher and higher. Okay, some model already, they are not even sharing with us like these meters, but probably is, even if they share, we wouldn't use it because it's too expensive. So already Opus is really expensive. It's double the cost of most of other frontier model. It just to get, remember this, just to get a few percentage better. Double the cost, not worth it. It's so that is where we are going as a direction. So let's use it until we can, and let's build with those tools the alternative. That is my suggestion. I want to add one last element that I realized during this weekend. So, as I said, I'm using this Living Archive, and I use Hermes open through the terminal plugin within Obsidian, I think it's called, right? Yes. So there is Obsidian where I have my Living Archive, and I open as a sidebar through the terminal plugin Hermes. Okay, you can do it, it's easy. So I open Hermes, then I use Hermes to help me with this moving the archive. But what is happening at the moment, even with OpenClaw and so on, because OpenClaw I use as a hands, okay, as this agent, this orchestrator that move a lot of agents that they work for me. But what I realized, that something that I used to use a lot in the past was like I used to use Gemini a lot, okay, Gemini app, which I customized with my single agent Resonant OS. Resonant OS is the operation system that I use. So at the beginning, it was running within that single agent. When we had final access to OpenClaw, I moved everything there. But the beginning, that agent was a sort of strategist, okay, was helping me thinking in a specific way. So all those protocols that I've been building, I built basically over that system. And those protocols are thinking protocol, and not to take action like a skill. But I want the AI to think in a specific way. So when something happen on some, like I told you, it's like around almost 100 of those protocols in place, I call them. So in those specific scenario, I want the AI to think in a specific way. Okay, to challenge me, for example, to don't to remind me about some of my philosophical point. So apply those philosophy. And what it was amazing is that AI would help me from protecting myself from drifting away from my own philosophy. Now, in the last couple of months, I use mainly OpenClaw, and like I said, OpenClaw is more like an agent that is they have multiple agents. With the interface that you talk with is this orchestrator. Okay, that delegate to all the other agents some work to do. So it's like a worker. It's more than a thinker. And so I realized I need to go back to having this strategist, because the protocol that I created, there are some of them, okay, at least for me, they're really, really good. So in this weekend, I used this AI again, and it was amazing how helped me to don't drift away. What is this drift? This drift is connected to, in my case, I'm talking about. So we have all those corporate AI that all they are trying to do is to remove maximum friction and give you maximum productivity. Removing friction and increasing productivity without friction, what you have is an average, okay? Because the friction is what give us the time to think and to add our creative input. If I remove completely friction, okay, and I have total output, let's just make it this virtually, okay, zero friction, maximum output. I go to the AI and say, build a video game, okay, just simple. AI build a video game. I didn't even decide anything about this video game, but zero friction. Boom, I got the product. Now, if you started to say building a video game with this, and this, okay, a little bit of friction, now you have a little bit more control. So as soon as you start adding friction, you start adding your creative elements. Okay, so you get control over the system. So you see, that is this friction change completely how you interact with AI. So those corporate AI try to remove this friction as much as possible. And the consequence is you have a higher output, because it's much easier just to say build a video game and you have a video game, than build a video game and then you need to tell all the ideas, all the process and whatever, okay? So the more you do, the more friction you have, and then slower your output is going to become. But the quality of the output is much more under control from your point of view. So that is the thing. That is the adding of friction and the idea of those corporate AI that try to remove it. Now I'm going into the stream, okay, because those IDE, they allow you to, they ask questions, okay, so it's not like they wanted zero friction. But nevertheless, that is the direction. Now it's up to us realizing this and take control out of this. And this AI strategist that I was talking about, it showed me this, okay? It was amazing how after just 2 months of working with OpenClaw, I was forgetting about those core elements about my philosophy. Just because we, as a human, we are a little bit stupid, a little bit lazy, okay? So for laziness, we go into, this less friction. And when I say stupid, I'm kidding, but the idea here is to hold the really high level thinking require a lot of cognitive attention. Okay, something that sometimes you can't easily turn on and off. Okay, so to get to that level, you need a journey. Okay, that is the friction again. So you need a journey to bring your brain there. When it's up there, then you can make those clear, really high value decisions. Now, the idea of the protocols is to frame that part, okay, to take that maximum level of clarity that I have, and from that one, create a protocol. Now, the AI can apply that protocol that is at that level anytime, okay, because it doesn't need to do the journey. It just transfer that high level intelligence into the protocol. Now, AI works on demand. So because of that, the ability of AI of holding that kind of thinking process, now I have this strategist that is amazing. So now that when I work with this strategy, they have this 100 protocol. The problem here is that it sometimes doesn't use it. That is the annoying part, okay? Just because the AI will love to do what they think is better. But nevertheless, I have them. So I can force to use it, or at one point, the AI finally will understand that it's important to follow the instruction, so to follow the protocol. Anyway, having those protocol means I will have now, and even better in the future, specific way of thinking that belong to me. That is the value of what I'm saying is living archive. That's why we need to build it. So the point here is what I learned is during this weekend, okay, to put it together. The strategist is a must-have. Okay, it's important. We know we shouldn't forget it, and maybe it's an agent within OpenClaw, or it's something completely disconnected. Okay, it's an agent that is just a strategist. So this strategist then give a document, for example, to OpenClaw, and OpenClaw act on it. So strategies must have. The living archive, through, in my case, I use Obsidian. Amazing to start having something really, really good. The other thing is try to offload your brain in a way that is really good for you. I got two methods, okay? I write pen and paper, love it, and I use audio, I record on here. Pen and paper is, it's all, I mean, you have mobile phone if you prefer instead of this. Pen and paper, you can type inside your computer and everything is there. So use your method, find your strategy. For me, why pen and paper? Higher friction, okay? And the graphic itself of writing interact with my brain, okay? Different way of structuring thoughts. Audio, it means I turn it on and then I don't need to touch anything. I'm disconnected from technology, from distraction. I walk in the park with my dog and think out loud. Love it. Completely unstructured thinking. That's why I have a protocol that look into this unstructured thinking and find the solution. Other thing I remembered is the importance actually to also try other apps. Okay, we can learn through using commercial work. Okay, we see other people how they work and try to grab those ideas and use it on our processes. So the mixed way of working, I think, is still valid, and we should leverage that part. Another part that is extremely important is move in a journey towards total sovereignty. Okay, we need to have a system that is we can trust. Okay, the goal here is, for my philosophy called augmentadism, is to build one AI that we can trust. Then we use that AI to work with all the others. Okay, but we need one that we can trust, that interface between us and the rest of things. Okay, that AI need to be ours. Now, it's a journey. Okay, so it's really difficult to do everything at once. Maybe the technology even doesn't exist to do everything at once, but this is the journey where we need to do. This is the journey that we're doing in this channel. So join the community. So if you are one of us, join the community. We are on Discord. We meet live twice a week, Wednesday and Thursday, 8 p.m. Central European time. People from around the world join the calls. The community on Discord is around 700 people. Let's make this YouTube channel grow. So like and subscribe, comment, let me know who you are, let me know your story, let me know how you go towards the sovereignty and the fatigue of it, and watch the next video. Ciao, ciao.